we were singing your praises before you came on with us, and I know you probably don't like talking about yourself. I know most guys don't in the NHL, but I'm going to ask you to. I mean, you've won a Stanley Cup. You won a Jack Adams a few years ago. But arguably, would you say, if you're being honest here, would you say this has been your best coaching job this season, considering the circumstances in Columbus?
Well, I'll answer it this way. I think it's been not a coach, but from a coaching staff point of view, really, quite honestly, the past couple of years have been the most interesting years. Last year, Bob and Brett basically announced that they were going to leave after the year, and we went through a whole process throughout that year of handling situations. And this year, it's been an eye-opener to me, guys, and it's really kind of knocked me back a little bit and made me realize that if you just try to play under a team concept and you have a team play as a team, I think you can compete in the league. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the star power and this individual player, that individual player carrying a team. We've had to play as a team, and it's been really rewarding for all of us just to see that you can stay competitive going about your business that way. I hope I'm answering your question, but it's been a fun year for us because I think we got a really good group of guys.
Do you have birds, or are you outside?
I am outside. I'm in my barn. I have, Berkey, I have 4 rescue horses. I got 3 rescue horses, 4 rescue pitties. I've got stuff flying in this barn all over the place. Yeah. So this is what my wife and I do. If it's not hockey, this is what we do.
Nice.
John, is it more satisfying and gratifying as a coach to have a team that has that buy-in factor and they have the accountability and that structure compared to other teams that have 5, 6, 7 superstars?
Well, I think eventually when you want to get to where when you're talking about winning a Stanley Cup, you're going to need a game breaker or two. You're going to need that goaltender to win you games. But the situation we've been in this year is just trying to stay afloat and trying to stay about our business with all the injuries. It's been a situation that just the camaraderie of it all. I think that's been the most rewarding part of it for us is that, we were supposed to be a lottery team when we were a healthy team, according to the pundits. And then when we had the mass injuries, it's been fun to see guys, the team itself, just band together and just try to find ways. We've had to play differently, and I think they've bought into that. So it's been a pretty cool year that way in just trying to survive here, and I think that's been very rewarding in the locker room.
Well, and the injuries aren't just you look at a depth chart of a team with 12 forwards and 6 defensemen and 2 goaltenders. You say, all right, we're going to play without 3 of those forwards and 3 of those defensemen. You're not talking slugs. You're not talking Brian Burke caliber players. You're talking really good players like Seth Jones, and you've missed your stars.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year that way. But when it first started happening, we made a pact amongst ourselves, and that we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. I know it's a little cliche as the next man's up. We've dipped into our minor league team, and I have to give Mike Eves, the staff, and quite honestly, the organization a ton of credit in how much depth we've had to dip into, and we found our way. We have stayed competitive. Before the break, we were, faltering a little bit. We were struggling, but I think we were starting to gain our traction right before it was shut down. But Berkey, you know what? I give our scouts, I give our organization a ton of credit, and the coaching staff down there in Cleveland, where these guys have come up, and it's been pretty seamless in them understanding how we play and just going about their business. So in a situation where do you want these injuries? No, but I think it's been good for our organization just to see what we have as people within our depth, really not thinking that it was going to happen so quickly as far as playing in the National Hockey League.
And I've seen Cleveland play twice this year against the Marlies and saw Mike Eves. The last time I saw Mike Eves before I saw him this year was going in to sign Jake Gardner when he was coach at the University of Wisconsin. And it took
there
Jake out. But yeah, they played. I saw them play twice this year. They play hard. They play together. It's a good team, and they were shorthanded.
Yeah,
They were shorthanded thanks to you, and they still played well.
Yeah, it's just the domino effect. And Ever, I just got to know him during camp, and I love the guy. He is just full of energy. There was no complaints when all the players are coming. We talked a couple times during it all, and he was going about the same type of attitude, just going about the business, trying to teach his players. I think he's done a terrific job down there in the circumstances that he's been put under and his staff.
Torts, we had Bill Daly, deputy commissioner, on our early show this morning, and he basically said the NHL's obviously in a holding pattern, but they're going to be creative and they're going to do anything in their power to reward the Stanley Cup at the end of the year because the fans want it, the players want it, I'm sure the coaches want it. How open are you to any sort of gimmicky, sounds like the wrong word, but any way to salvage the season, whether it's an extended group of teams in the playoffs or whether it's a knockout format, or how open are you to the NHL doing something a little different than the standard 16-team, round of 7 games?
Yeah, we sat around as a staff before everybody started getting quarantined and stuff like that and talked about all different type of circumstances, all different type of scenarios in order to get this something to a finish with this situation. You know what? I have a lot of thoughts, but you know what it is for me? I just don't know where it all goes still, how long it's going to be. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen. As I watch the news daily and hear about where these pockets are and where it's all going to go, it's hard to really pinpoint on what we should do. I know the league wants to try to get something to where there's a finale to our season, but who knows where the hell it goes as far as how long this is going to take. So the way I look at it, I've tried to separate myself in as a hockey coach in the league. This is a world health situation. That's the biggest concern we got to have right now. Hockey comes after it, so I've kind of separated them both. And having said that, I already have different type of scenarios for my camp, a little mini camp to try to get going again. I already have that written down if we get at it, because I'm concerned about the injuries and all the things that could happen to players if you don't prepare them correctly. We're ready to go in situations. I just don't know what that situation is going to be.